I would like to say hello, good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to today's session of WTS Online Seminar Series, How to Animal Welfare. This is the 7th session of this series, and we are talking today about animal welfare and climate change. My name is Karin Siegmund. I'm the director of WTS. WTS is a foundation promoting animal welfare worldwide, and we are based in Berlin, Germany. This session is part of our program, Animal Welfare and Development Cooperation. We support practice projects, trainings like this one, and also research with regard to that specific area. And with all these activities, we want to improve animal welfare in practice. Previous sessions can be found on the web. You received the link in the invitation we sent. Today we'll discuss a topic that has been evolving dramatically in the last years. Climate change has proven to be an enormous threat to the way agriculture is being pursued now and in the future. And it, of course, impacts the welfare of animals, be it through drought or food scarcity, heat waves, floods, all kinds of events. And when we heard about the Baringo Initiative from Self-Help Africa, we immediately thought that this would be an important topic to discuss, as it will affect all of us and all of our work in rural development. The Baringo Initiative has been actively working on developing and also implementing solutions, which they will introduce to you today. And I'm looking very much forward to these discussions with experts from Self-Help Africa, KB, and AWECA. Meanwhile, I would like to introduce our host today. This is Dr. Suna Paul, Director of AWECA at Makerere University in Uganda. The Animal Welfare Competence Center for Africa is a public-private partnership being supported by WTS and WTG to collect and promote animal welfare knowledge on the African continent. Paul is a long-term partner of WTS. He has set up our university training Vets United in Uganda and has also developed the guidelines for animal welfare and development cooperation, which were introduced last year. I would like to invite Dr. Paul to introduce our first guest. Thank you all for joining today, and over to you, Paul.
Our presenter today is Mr. Calvin Okungu. Calvin has a Bachelor of Science Agriculture degree from the University of Nairobi and is pursuing an MSc in horticulture from the same institution. He is skilled in seed system security assessment, value chains development, program cycle, and human resource management. And prior to his current role at Self-Help Africa, he was the principal of Homa Bay Agricultural Training Center before being appointed as District Agriculture Officer in Kisumu West in 2010. He also previously worked in public extension under the Minister of Agriculture, coordinating various agriculture extension programs. And in 2015, Calvin took on a role of Agriculture and Natural Resource Management Advisor at Self-Help Africa in Kenya. While in Self-Help Africa, he has spearheaded close collaboration with government and government agencies, both at national and county levels in Self-Help Africa programs, leading to Self-Help Africa's participation in the development of national roots and tuber crop strategies, which was launched during the National World Food Day celebration. Self-Help Africa also participated in the World Environmental Day celebrations in June 2019 under his coordination. He has also been at the forefront in the implementation of plant health clinics under the EU-funded Cassava program in collaboration with the Center for Agriculture and Bioscience International, known as CABI. With CABI and State Department of Crop Production, Calvin spearheaded the production of Desert Locust Information Book, which is a handy manual for locust management information for extension workers and surveillance and control teams. Since 2022, Calvin Okungu has been the program manager for the Baringo Resilience Initiative, a project of Self-Help Africa that is addressing the challenges of climate change to livelihoods of the pastoral communities living in Baringo County in Kenya. Through the project, he has contributed to building resilience among the pastoralists in Baringo, developing strategies for the management of the pastoral livelihoods in collaboration with the national and county level stakeholders, both in government and non-government actors. Calvin, you are welcome to make your presentation. You can proceed to share your presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul, for that powerful and wonderful introduction. I will go straight into the presentation. Before I do that, I would like to say thank you very much for introducing me to WTS and for offering me an opportunity to share the lessons we have learned in our project with the partners who are in this webinar today. We don't take it for granted. Now, the Baringo Resilience Initiative is a collaboration between Self-Help Africa and the Baringo County government under funding from the European Union. And it is a 5-year project that started in 2019 towards the end of it. We just closed the implementation last week, and we are in the process of working towards securing more funding to continue supporting resilience in Baringo, because the effects of climate change are still ravaging the livelihoods of the populations that live in Baringo County. In my presentation, I'm going to show you a bit of the introduction to the project, and then the challenges that the livestock have faced in Baringo as a result of the climate change. Then I'll take you through some of the selected interventions in the project that are relevant for our topic today. And then in conclusion, I will share some recommendations that we have for other development partners that implement projects of similar nature in similar environments like where we work. Now, the Baringo Resilience Initiative project is abbreviated as Baringo, as you can see there, Baringo Resilience Initiative, Nurturing Greater Opportunity. And it was coined in order to be able to address the challenges to the livelihoods of the pastoralists and the agro-pastoralists that live in Baringo County as a result of climate change. In order to be able to manage the livelihoods of the people, we divided the project into 5 outputs. The first output is to increase crop and livestock productivity, because in the face of climate change, what gets affected first is the productivity, and that translates into the livelihoods, because when productivity is low, then people cannot easily survive, food insecurity and all those other challenges set in. Then number 2 is to improve knowledge and practice in nutrition and hygiene. As you know, when livelihoods are constrained, you will find that people don't pay close attention to nutrition and also to hygiene. And then number 3 was to be able to address improvement of the management of land resources, that is their land and their water, for increased productivity. And then number 4 is to increase access to markets and finance. As you know, once the farmers and the pastoralists are able to produce something, if they don't market, they don't get their income. They also need access to finance in order to be able to invest in improving their productive enterprises. And then lastly, we worked on improving collaboration among the various stakeholders, encouraging networking and improving governance in order to be able to address the challenges to the survival, food security and resilience of the people. Sorry, I'm trying to change my slides. Now, what are some of the challenges that livestock face under climate change? Climate change poses a significant threat to livestock production in the arid and semi-arid lands, impacting on water and feed availability. You'll understand that when there are extensive droughts, water becomes a big issue, and so livestock cannot survive without adequate water. And in most cases, they survive using water from open sources, which are subject to contamination, and therefore they can contract diseases and their productivity is reduced. There's a big challenge on animal health because the risk of contracting diseases is high. The livestock interact a lot when they graze out in the field and meet with the livestock from different areas. So in case of diseases like foot and mouth disease, it will spread a bit faster. Then we have overall productivity coming down because of the challenges of not being able to feed the livestock well and to house them and take good care of them in terms of their health. So productivity goes down, and that brings in poverty and inability to meet the basic needs. These effects not only challenge the sustainability of livestock systems, but also undermine the livelihoods and food security of the pastoral communities. So looking at those challenges in general, we came up with a number of interventions. The first one was to work with the farmers to improve the quality of their breeds. This is because managing the breeding in the livestock under those constrained environments is not easy. And so there is rampant inbreeding that leads to poor breeds of the animals. And therefore, the growth rate of the animals are affected, their marketability is affected, and the income from the livestock is thoroughly reduced. So we introduced some breeding stock into the program, the goats, the sheep, and the cattle. And the benefits that came out of that is increased growth rate of the offspring, attainment of higher market weight, and also improved productivity of both milk and meat, and also reduced banditry. As you know, during banditry, the bandits drive away the livestock. The local breeds are easier to drive away because they can run long distances, but the improved breeds and the crosses cannot run that fast. So when you improve the quality and improve productivity, the bandits will also not be in demand for the offspring that come because they can't drive them away. The other intervention we had in the project was pasture production and preservation, because during the extreme dry spells, the grass dries up and there's nothing that can be used to feed the livestock. So we came up with an idea of promoting production of pasture, improved grasses, and also preserving them in hay stores. So we worked with the community to construct 13 different hay stores in different locations and encourage the storage of hay during the wet season so that they are able to utilize during the dry season. Then we also promoted the utilization of other nutritious feed products, especially from a plant called Prosopis duriflora. Now in Baringo, especially around Lake Baringo, Prosopis duriflora is an invasive tree that grows and captures grazing land and farming land. And it makes wide areas unutilizable because of that invasion. So we came up with an idea of reducing the population of Prosopis to create room for grass to grow. As you can see in the picture on the left, that is grass growing in an area that was previously invaded with Prosopis. And then we also realized that Prosopis pods are very rich in protein and edible by livestock. So working with KEFRI is Kenya Forest Research Institute, we fabricated a machine that can grind or mill Prosopis pods when they are dry into a feed that is mixed with grass and fed to the livestock. With 15% crude protein content, it adds a lot of value to the quality of the feeds that the animals take. Then our next intervention was to work towards rehabilitation of livestock sale yards. Now you'll realize that when the livestock are sold in an open field, when they come to a new environment where they find the population is high, some of them get agitated and they can break away, run away and disappear. So handling them becomes a bit difficult. Some of them have to be forced to be in the market and they are beaten, and so they can suffer injuries during marketing. So we worked with the county government to rehabilitate one of the markets in a place called Loruk, where we built a market sale yard consisting of a holding ground for the cattle for their safety and also for sheep and goat separately. Then we also had an isolation compartment for sick or injured animals so that they are not mixed with the others. We have an auction yard where the selling is done in an organized manner. And then we have a safe loading ramp where the animals are loaded into trucks before being taken to their next destination. We also separated the chicken cages where chicken are sold. And then we constructed selling stalls for other traders of groceries so that those who come to the livestock market can also buy their vegetables and other groceries. Then we also constructed a pit latrine there for the sake of hygiene. And then we constructed offices that house veterinary officers who take care of the animal health at the market, security teams, and also the market managers and revenue collectors. So there's a safe office from where everything can be managed in the sale yard. The next intervention was in equipping boreholes to supply water for livelihoods. And in equipping boreholes, we realized the county government had drilled very many boreholes. They didn't have resources to equip them for utilization. So we came up with a design where we put solar pumping system to pump the water for sustainability because solar is a bit more manageable than electricity. And then we construct a kiosk where the people can access water for domestic use. And alongside the kiosks, we also constructed a cattle drinking trap, like the one in the picture on the left, where the cattle can access water. Now, this not only give access to water closer to where the people live, but also gives clean water to the livestock because borehole water is more safer than open pond water. So each borehole is fitted with all those facilities, and we did a total of 6 of them across the county. And there's room for more because when we started, there were over 38 boreholes that needed to be equipped. Then the next intervention was on livestock and crop diseases management. We worked with Kabi at first to train on plant clinics, and we established 7 plant clinics in the county where extension officers were trained to address issues of plant health, and the clinics are up and running. And then we came up with the One Health approach, again with Kabi, to address the wider health issues. And we supported the veterinary department to carry out disease surveillance, mass vaccination, and treatment of the diseases that were threatening to break out in Baringo during that time. And this is a continuous process that we will continue to support because surveillance and vaccination is something that goes on and on. Then finally, we want to make a recommendation for other development partners that may want to implement similar projects, that for the sake of success in implementing livestock interventions, organizations need to support the development of locally customized strategies in livestock management, especially to manage practices such as upgrading, watering, and marketing. And the reason is because each of the communities we work with have unique dynamics among them based on their cultures, their practices, and their environmental challenges that they make. And so if you develop one strategy, you'll find that it can succeed in one area, it may not succeed in another area. So it's important to have participatory development of strategies with every community that you work with so that their unique dynamics are addressed for the sake of success of every project. And with that, I want to say thank you very much. I'll be ready to take any questions that come. My contacts are there, personal email and personal phone number.